Huh.
Steve.
Trying to get things situated. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Meh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Could be rough.
Yeah, I'll go into it later if you want. I really can't have this recorded.
Oh,
There's a
yeah. No,
lot of interesting stuff.
no. I understand. So, um, anything else new?
Um, no.
No.
Oh, I got one cool thing. Um, Hold on. An only key. I have no idea what it has in it. I hasn't even haven't even pulled off the little rubber cover yet. But you plug it into a USB port, type in a code, and then it pretends to be a keyboard. It does everything a YubiKey does, plus considerably more. Um, I have two separate codes. Well, actually, there's three. So, two codes that are basically layers. First code gives me 12 button things. You tap for one thing, hold for one thing. So, six times two. The other code does 12 more. So, I've got a home set and work set. Um, it does logins. It can tie into lots of neat stuff. Kind of cool.
Interesting.
Still
What's it called?
an only key sold by crypt.to, CRY or CRP.to, Crapto.
Crapto. I think I spelled Crapto's website wrong even after all that.
CRP.to.
CRP.to. CRP.to. Okay. Whatever. I'm not going to
More
question why
expensive,
stuff works
more
sometimes.
expensive than it should have been, but meh, it's kind of cool. I've been wanting one for a while.
Uh, I have been downloading a couple of different uh, Chromebook replacements because sooner or later my Chromebook is going to crap out on me and I'm going to need something to put on it
You
to
mean physically or just no longer supported?
no longer supported.
Uh, some of those are interesting. You put a screw in a screw hole to reload it or take a screw out. They're kind of weird. I've never played with one, but I've watched a couple of videos on this is how you load Mint on XYZ.
The last, let's see, I want to say the last two, probably the last three Chromebooks I had were ARM based and they were a pain. I finally got one Linux distro to install on one of them, and it was not right, and it was not good, and I just reloaded it. I gave it to Jim. I ended up it was a newer it was a newer Chromebook, but support for it had ended. But it was still way more up to date than what he was using at the time. So I gave it to him. I reloaded Chrome OS on it and just said, here. Um, my current Chromebook, which I don't use often, it has a i7 in it. And
Nice.
yeah, it's a heck of a Chromebook. I think it's got a 17-inch screen, 128 gig hard drive. I want to say 32 gigs of memory. And of course,
Really?
yeah, Chrome doesn't use anywhere close to that. I mean,
32 gigs of RAM or 32 gig
no,
storage drive?
it's got 128 gig SSD in it. It's got
Good grief.
like 32 gigs of RAM. It's a heck of a machine. But I think support for it ends at the end of the year, and I'm looking at alternatives. And because it is an i7, um, I'm hoping it'll run just a mainline Linux distro without any problem. They 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 lock the bootloader mostly, and you've got to get around that. But once you get around that, you can get other stuff to load. So, but that is what I've been doing, and I've been playing with these cheap yellow display boards, which I don't know
Hmm.
if you've seen these things.
Yeah, I've got one.
You've got one of the cheap yellow displays.
Hmm.
So I printed a little case for mine. If I
Nice.
sent he bought a couple of them and convinced me that I needed them, which I didn't, but he convinced me that I did, and I've nonstop been playing with them since. But that's
Hmm.
that's a resistive model, and he convinced me that the capacitive touchscreen was a lot better. And it is. It's a lot better. And the two boards are very different. It's kind of interesting, even though they share a lot of the same stuff. They are quite a bit different boards. This one I haven't even opened it up to play with it yet because Vicente convinced me I needed two of them, so I bought two of them. Well,
I
come
bought
on.
one before finding out that it can't emulate a keyboard.
No,
And that was one of the things I really wanted it to do.
it's just an ESP32. So this is the capacitive one. Obviously, the touchscreen is different. The display driver is actually different, but the real differences happen on the back.
So extra port on the top edge,
There's an extra port. There's
extra chip.
on the cheap one. Yeah, I think the extra chip must be the touch driver, touchscreen driver. On the cheap one, the cheap one, the resistive one, I got a micro USB and a USB-C. Um, because the original boards apparently only had micro USB, and instead of removing the micro USB and just putting a USB-C on there, they decided that they would do
Two is
both.
better than one.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Forget what this is. Oh, this one's got two of the small ones. Um,
Hmm.
oh, it's a speaker. One's a speaker, and this one's got a battery plug, so I could plug a battery into it.
Oh, sweet.
Um,
So it's got charge circuitry and the BMS built in.
yeah, yeah, yep,
Hmm.
yeah. That's what part of that mess right there is. The serial chip is in a slightly different spot. It's a little higher
Hmm.
on this board. Um, and then the other pin, and then um, that's the capacitive touchscreen, which this one doesn't have at all. But this one's using, can't remember exactly the number. It's an ILI display, and this one's using a ST um 7735 or something like that display. So even if I want, well, I could port the software over and just change what display is using, and it should work. But this one, the it's using a different touch driver. Um, it's using quite a bit different. It's a quite a bit different. And well, this one, when I go and I touch the screen, it tells me the X and Y spot, and it's really the X and Y spot. And when I go and touch the screen on this one, it gives me like from 0 to 4,000 or something. It's like, okay, now I got to figure out where you're actually at. But Vicente talked me into buying it, and he didn't have to talk me into it very hard.
It wasn't hard.
It
Yeah.
was it wasn't that hard. Vicente said I needed it. I said okay. Then he said, "Get two of them." Oh, okay.
So he's going to want one of them.
No, he bought. I think he's got three or four of them now because he was doing experiments with his wireless uh his wireless distance thing. So he thought that because it's got the display on and everything, it would be a good one to use. There's a second case that I printed for it and kind of stringed up a little bit right there. Found that case on Thingiverse. Printed just fine. Printed in two colors because the LED, well, that's the other difference. On this one, the LED is on the back, and on
Hmm.
the other one, the LED is on the front. So,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Wait, on the capacitive, it's on the front.
yep.
Where at?
See, I just put all that away.
No, sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm just messing with you. We got plenty of time. We're just hanging out.
Okay. Hmm.
That is a light sensor that doesn't work real well,
Hmm.
but it has a light sensor. And apparently it's an undocumented feature that the community has figured out that that's what that is.
Would that fit in a standard duplex switch outlet? So I'm playing with ESP Home, and Home Assistant.
Hmm.
So one of those as just mounted in a switch plate. You walk into a room and tap it, the lights come on, you hold your finger on it, and it gives you a little map of the house and says, do you want to do a different light? That sort of thing.
Um,
Um,
I'm sure in this orientation it would fit in a single
yeah,
box.
hmm.
Probably
Oh,
it
no, I
probably
know it wouldn't that way.
it probably would work in a double box in that orientation.
Yeah, no, I'm talking vertically in a single.
Yeah, I think it probably would. I don't have a I don't have a tape measure or anything next to
No,
me.
no big deal.
Um,
But that'd be cool. It'd be easy to make a cover plate for it and just run uh, low voltage cabling to it, have it
yeah,
tie into wireless.
it's not a bad idea. I like it. And if I had my own place, I probably would do something like that. They get very odd. I wanted to put a fan back here, an overhead,
Hmm.
and I made the mistake of telling them I should have just did it. They were like, "You can't do that." What do you mean I can't do that?
I do know how.
I know how to do it. I can do that.
Is there a
I'm
light in the middle of the room?
Yeah, yeah.
They make some tiny fans that
Our
they
room,
only weigh 3 pounds.
the living room has. Wow, it kind of got dark. Weird. Sun must have went behind a cloud or something. Um, our living room, I mean, our ceiling is the same height, and there's a ceiling fan in there. It's not a problem. And yes, I wanted to get one of the ones that would have been closer to the ceiling for in here, but I made the mistake of asking, and now you can't make changes to the electric. Well, I don't really think that's a change to the electric, but okay, whatever. I've
I
got,
mean, they make little fans that mount in light sockets. So that's one you could just
huh,
carry
screw
out with you.
screw in, huh?
Yep.
The light socket's in the wrong orientation though.
Yeah.
I've got I've got a couple of the old well, they're old now. Wemo's replacement light switches socket
Hmm.
that go into the wall plate. And I had those hooked up at uh, well, pretty much everywhere we've lived except here because they wigged out about making changes. And I'm like, it's just it's just a replacement switch. It's the same. I mean, you just wire it in. It's simple.
How often do they check that sort of thing?
They actually, well, they're supposed to come around like once every 3 months, but I've only ever seen them maybe twice a year, so I probably could get away with it. But Hattie's wigging out already because they've raised the rent, which they do every year, and she doesn't want to get kicked out because we can't afford anywhere else because everywhere around here is just insanely expensive, and we're still in a very reasonable priced. If you consider what other apartments are asking for, we are in a very reasonably priced apartment.
Yeah.
So, so even though it's more expensive, I think, I think we decided that at the current rate that they're raising the price, we could stay here 2 more years. And then we'd probably have to find somewhere else because then our prices would be too high. And amazingly enough, there's some spots in Middletown that are pretty cheap, but I don't know if we want to move back to Middletown,
It being Middletown and all.
it being Middletown and all. Of course, I drove down through Middletown uh, last week sometime, and it wasn't nearly as bad as I remember Middletown being. Of course, I didn't go downtown, so and they've got a big Jersey Mike's in Middletown now, so that's a bonus.
I like Jersey Mike's much better than Penn Station, but sometimes Jersey Mike's is just weird. Some of them are great, some of them are not. There was one on Reed Hartman Highway at Cornell, I think, that was just fantastic. You go in and order a sandwich, and it was like twice the size of the sandwich you'd get at most of the Jersey Mike's.
Yeah. Yeah. We were going to, well, Liberty Center um and Cincinnati Dayton Road. There used to be a Jersey Mike's there. And it was owned by two brothers. One of them ran a Jersey Mike's down in Cincinnati. One of them ran the Jersey Mike's at Liberty Center. And you go in there the first time, you get a normal Jersey Mike's sandwich, you know, decent sandwich, pretty good. You start showing up more and more and more. You start getting better and better, better sandwiches. Like
Yeah.
then we went in there one day and they were completely same brothers owned it, but it was a completely different sandwich shop making Jersey Mike's sandwiches. And like, what happened? You're not Jersey Mike's anymore. And he said, nope, Jersey Mike's raised their uh franchise fees by like 1,000% or something. And we just said the hell with it. We've already owned the equipment, we own the building. We'll just tear down the sign and put a new sign up, become something else.
Yep.
It's okay. He said it was better being an independent anyway, because he didn't have to follow some of the crazy Jersey Mike's rules. He could just, if he wanted to bring soup in, he could bring soup in and sell soup. But sadly, they went out of business. I don't know what happened to them. But the Jersey Mike's in Springboro isn't bad. Um, they're getting on the pricey side though, and I don't really know if I'm getting the same value I was, you know. So I keep hearing sirens. Something's going on. I turned the scanner off
Uh,
though.
it took the little rubber cover off of this thing. The the whole back has got a conformal coating on it, and it looks like they painted the top of the IC before they put the conformal on. So
They
I don't know what the chip is,
they
and it's
really don't
got a
want you to know.
yeah, but in theory it's open source, so should be pretty easy to figure out.
Hmm.
Um, and it's got a weird 7-pin connector under the conformal. I'm not sure what that is. A little, yeah, it just shows us a little line there. I can't
Yeah. I
focus. 7 dots in a row
yeah, I see it.
to the.
It's not it's not JTAG, is it?
I mean, it could be. One pin has a hole in it, so that's definitely pin one, or at least I assume it is. And the coating is just so you don't knock the little caps and the clock off. Oh, also, it sort of keeps track of time. It it doesn't know what time it is, but you can set how many minutes it stays active before you have to re-enter the passcode. Neat toy.
Uh, I just looked up JTAG interfaces and nope, that is not JTAG.
Well, JTAG is normally 2x3 or two by
Yeah.
four, but
Well, yeah, I guess they
JTAG is more what the communications protocol is than where the wires sit.
yeah, I guess they could make their own thing up because really all you need is in out clock. I don't know what TMS is and reset.
Ground
Yeah,
and ground.
and ground. So you would need there's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah, you could get away with 7 pins on it.
You don't necessarily need the reset either. I've seen 6-pin JTAG, and
Okay,
that's what it tends to not have.
the reset. Yeah. I know what the other ones are. What the heck is TMS? What does TMS stand for? Ugh, I know what the other pins do. TMS, that's got to, no, I don't know. Maybe maybe that's the select pin.
Test mode select.
Yeah, so
TMS
Jay,
signal must be pulled high on the target to keep the signal inactive when no debug unit is connected. So resistor to VCC, and if something pulls it low, it knows there's something there.
yep. There's a see, I think STM Micro, I think they came up with their own connector. I think it's only 5 pins, and that includes power. So it could be that with a couple extra pins on there. I like opening stuff up and finding out that it has a RX and a TX line.
Yeah.
That makes it simple.
I've got one of the little clip-on JTAG things with the 6 pogo pins.
Mm-hmm.
I've yet to actually hook it up to anything. but I know
Yeah.
it can be read easily in Mint. So at some point, I'll open up a router and clip it on and see what happens.
The I used to play around with flashing those old WRT 54 routers,
Uh-huh.
and I had a couple of those. Um, didn't take the new firmware, and you had to what was it, TFTP into them, and you could
Yep.
do all kinds of cool stuff like that. But you had to. There were pins on board where you could just bypass a bunch of that stuff, and it's like, oh, cool. We don't need no stinking firmware. We have serial pins.
I've been playing quite a bit with OpenWRT. Um, I bought an OpenWRT 1, which is guaranteed hardware. It's Wi-Fi 6 and unbreakable, according to them. Um, so I got one because my mom needed a new router. She's had the same thing for like 8 years, and it. I try to always replace hardware before it breaks because it's a lot harder to replace it afterwards. Um, so anyway, I got this thing. It was $100 all all told. It's got an NVMe drive in it. Well, now I mean, it had an NVMe slot. So I stuck an NVMe drive in there and loaded a TFTP server and um, uh, it'll pixie boot my mom's computer and auto load Clonezilla. And
Neat.
she has no idea any of this is there because it's an NFS server and she runs Windows. But if she shuts her machine off, I can send a wake on LAN, pixie boot it, load Clonezilla on it, and copy a backup back to the router. And I can slowly back that up to my place because she's got, I don't know, like just better than dial up.
You don't need anything else. My when we were staying with my mom, she upgraded her service to like 300 down, which I think at the time was the fastest that Spectrum was offering.
Mm-hmm.
And um, you know, she thought that we needed it, and we probably did. I loved it. It was great. It was fast. And not too long ago, she said, I downgraded the service because everybody has left, and it's just me now. I hate it. I'm going to go back and I'm going to tell them I want the 300.
Yep.
Like, that's how they get you.
Yep. My mom's, I every time I go over there, I check her network speed. And the fastest I've gotten yet was 21 megabit. I'm like,
Ooh.
oh, that's painful. But it seems to be all she can get. Spectrum isn't an option. She's in an HOA
Eh,
and they won't let the HOA won't let Zoom or Fioptics bring in fiber. And I do not understand.
that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
It's Mason.
Eh.
Mason doesn't make a lot of sense.
Have you looked at, I mean, I'm using the AT&T Air,
Mm-hmm.
home Air, something like, have you looked to see if she could get something like that?
I
I mean,
haven't.
it's it is faster than 20. It's on average, it's better than 200 on average. But of course, it's over wireless, so it can slow down. I rarely see it slow down below 100 though, so
On their page, looking to see what they've got. I don't know. My sister handles most of that stuff for her. She'll be the executor of the will when mom finally dies.
right.
Um, hmm. But at the moment,
Well, it would
she's,
seem I mean, they offer it here, and here is a small market. I would think they would offer it in Mason, which is a far larger market
yeah.
with way more 5G customers than here. And it's only like $60. They increased the price. It was uh I am still on the old price. It was $60 when I signed up. If I signed up for auto pay, I got $5 off, so I pay $55. But I think they've increased it to $65, and if you sign up, you get $5 off, so it's $60. So whatever, it's $60.
Yeah. Or you can save 20% if you bundle it with an unlimited wireless plan.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's one of the things about AT&T that I have opted out of their stupid email marketing thing like 4 times, and I still get, buy our phone. I don't want your phone. I just want your internet. Leave me alone. But Spectrum did the same thing. I mean, they were trying to sell me phones too. So
can you deal with it without that home manager app?
yes.
Okay.
Um, so you need the manager app. Let me think about this because it's been over a year. Um, I think I needed the manager app the first time I set it up. Um, and it's still on my phone, and I still get things like when a device connects to your phone or connects to your router for the first time, you'll get a message that says this device just connected. And then you could go in and tell it what you want that device to do. But you don't have to. It If you don't tell it what to do, it will just give it full access to the network.
Probably what I want. Um, I'm looking up her address right now.
Um,
I can't imagine that it's not available there.
yeah, I can't either. I like I said, I am in a small market, I, and it's available here. So, I mean, the hardest thing that they tell you, I got lucky because the very first spot that I set mine up at happened to be the best spot in the house. But that's the hardest thing to actually do is to walk around with the device and try to find the best spot because it's wireless. So,
This is weird. Great news. It's available. We found an existing AT&T account at this address. That may
that
be what my mom has. I thought Angie said she was with Cincinnati Bell and
hmm,
DSL. Well, she
would I don't know why she's getting so crappy speeds.
because my sister hid the access point down behind a cabinet.
I bet I bet that's it. I bet if you walked around with with that
Stuck it in
access
a
point,
window.
like I said, I got lucky. I just first spot I tried it in, I was getting full speed, and I'm like, "Yep, it's staying here. I'm not even going to try anywhere else." That's one of the things that the app will tell you. Um, while during the first setup, you've got to walk around with that, plug it into various spots, let it connect or try to connect, and then the app will tell you if it's got a good connection or a poor connection and
Yeah.
all that fun stuff. You don't really need the app for that. You could just log into the router itself, and the router will tell you that it's got a good connection or a bad connection. So you really don't need the app. The app just makes it simple.
Yeah. I more and more hate apps. I I'm I truly like my phone. It's doing everything I want it, and I don't want to add anything else to it
Yep.
at all.
Well, that's pretty much I've got everything on my phone that I could possibly need, and I don't really want to screw around and change anything. Motorola, I got an update the other day from Motorola that um oh, well that's why I was hearing so many sirens. Patty texted me and said an ambulance is next door.
Oh,
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, Motorola loaded one of their updates loaded a app updater, which added an app. And apparently it's something that they add or something. I went in and I turned it off. So if it hasn't done it to you, because you use Motorola too, right?
hmm.
You need to go in and there's one of the Motorola apps is App Installer or something like that. I just disabled it. I haven't seen it add any more apps. So I was like, what the? Why are you installing stuff I didn't ask for? Wonderful. Now Motorola is sending me bloatware that I don't want. One of my Chromebooks did that. Started installing stuff I didn't want. And I'm like, oh, it took me forever to get rid of Lightwave and it it, uh, it would come back every now and then. It would decide to come back, and I'm like, I've uninstalled this dozens times. Well, you look puzzled, Mr. Steve.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find out what mom's external IP address is.
Did you have you seen the new Anycubic printer?
No, what'd they do?
Uh, they've got a Cobra S1 now. It's an enclosed printer. It's the same. Why can't I click on that? What the?
Ooh, $600. Wow.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
quiet.
I uh I looked at Patty and said, I think I need a new printer.
So $500 or 600 with the multi-filament.
Yep.
And it comes with high-speed PLA. If I got another 3D printer, I think I'd also have to get a divorce.
Well, Patty didn't say yes and she didn't say no. She wants a tablet. Um, I told her a tablet's probably not what she really wants, but she, her eyes are starting to bother her. She's got a
Mhm.
little 13-inch laptop. She can't really see the screen. She watches YouTube on her phone. She can't really see it. Um, so I told her her laptop's not a bad laptop. Just let's get a decent sized monitor and attach to it. Yeah, but I want something new. Okay, if you get something new, I get a 3D printer. Do you need another 3D printer? No. Do you need a tablet?
I can't think of any tablet that has a bigger screen than,
That's what I said. I told her, I said, all these tablets, they're going to be smaller than what you've
yeah.
already got.
At one point, I have no idea who made it, but my boss at Reisenfeld got one for his kids. It was basically an all-in-one, and it had a 20-inch screen. Um,
Wow.
but it was set up to be a tablet. It was a touch screen. It didn't come with a keyboard, and it may have had Chrome OS on it. I don't know. I never actually saw it in action. He brought it in 3 weeks before Christmas and kept it in the server room. Never
Mm.
understood that.
The uh, the only tablet that I can think of that would have been large would be like a Microsoft Surface.
Oh, you don't want one of those.
You don't want one of those. But
And they're
well,
surprisingly expensive.
yeah.
Okay, so Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra, 14.6 inch. So she gets 2 more inches, but it's probably 3 times the resolution. So if it doesn't support scaling well, it's going to
Yeah.
look smaller.
Well, when I looked, I only saw that Acer and Samsung were the only two that were still really making tablets. And I just think she'd be better off if I got like a nice, 17-inch monitor or 20-inch monitor and stick it on her laptop. And I think she'd be perfectly happy with that.
I Googled largest tablets, and one that came up on the list, a tenth of an inch smaller than that Samsung Galaxy Tab, a Lenovo Tab Extreme. If it came down to the two of them, I would definitely go with a Lenovo before a Samsung. But I admit I hate Samsung.
I don't partic I don't particularly like Samsung. Um, I had a
And
I had a Tab 10 a long time ago, and it was good until I got a hold of an Android tablet that was a pure Android tablet, and then I went, "Oh, this is better."
um, and then there's the NXT Paper 14 by TCL, which is $300 and freaking huge.
Okay, that one maybe. Kind of
Wait,
depends
I'm
on
sorry. $170 for a TCL Tab 10. Oh no, that's 10 inches. Um, Got to actually read each one of these.
Well, it depends on the specs too, because she's got a decent phone, and a lot of the lower cost tablets use some chip that is a phone chip from 20 years ago.
Yeah. So the one that came up at the top of the list was a Meswa, whatever, MESWAO 14-inch Android 14. It's 19.2 by 1200 touch screen, 8-core CPU, 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs expandable to a terabyte,
Oh,
12,000 milliamp hour battery, 5 megapixel and 32 megapixel cameras,
I
$280.
oh that's not horrible. It's running Android,
Yep,
Windows, Android.
Android.
Oh,
Paste in the chat. Amazon.
okay. I will. It doesn't sound horrible.
8 core. Wow.
I gotta. I gotta pay a couple of larger bills and see how much money's left over. That doesn't look horrible. 6 gigs expandable.
I'm just thinking it'd run Termux pretty well.
My fear is she'll get this thing and she'll absolutely hate it because it'll be too big. She'll have to hold it and it will be too big. I don't like it. It's heavy and yes.
Yeah, that's an issue that Marla and I deal with. She has a iPad, the big iPad Pro that was 650, $700 because it was the last year's model. And we do crosswords in bed before going to sleep. It's her thing. I mean, she asks me, "Oh, what's a 7-letter word for this?" And I usually am pretty good at crosswords. But then she's like, "My hand's tired. Can you hold it?" No, it's bedtime.
Well, I usually play Sudoku right before I fall asleep, but
Hmm.
I have severely been trying to limit my exposure to that kind of light at night because I wake up with a horrible headache if I play a game. So, it's usually fixable pretty quick, but I am sure that it has more to do with the blue light coming off of the old tablet.
Um, look into the blue light blocking glasses. They make them as just non uh, prescription.
Yeah. Um, but she's worse than I am. She's probably sitting out there right now watching uh, a video or something, turning off all the lights, and you're killing your eyes. I, why do I have a headache? Because you're watching videos in the middle of the dark. So I
I
don't
like
know.
Sudoku. I'm a big fan of Sokoban, which is the little warehouse guy pushing the boxes around. You've got four boxes and you've got to get into the green spots on the floor. And I've played that way more than I should have.
Uh, Really, the only game I've got installed on my phone is Zombie Tsunami, and I play that just when there's some downtime, like if I'm waiting for her to get off work or something, I'll sit there and play that game. But I don't play a whole lot of games. I play Sudoku at night, and we play a bunch of math games right before bed.
I have one game installed,
World
World of
Goo,
Goo. I love World of Goo.
World of Goo. Ah,
Go away.
oh,
That one actually, so I paid for it. And when you pay for it, you get the downloads for Windows, Linux, Mac, and
oh,
it's
nice.
available for Android. And I'm like, oh, cool. This works everywhere I do anything. And one purchase covers you for all of them. To get to it on Android, you have to have a Netflix account. I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, okay, that was kind of a cheat, but whatever. Um, but I think that my purchase of it would have covered, I think I could have created a Netflix account with that and only had access to that game.
Eh.
I'm not sure. I already had Netflix, so that was no big deal.
I do remember when Netflix got into the gaming thing. I didn't realize that you were kind of forced to do something. I figured they were making money off of ads or something with it.
No, there's
But
no ads in that, but I think I paid I think I paid $40 for it, which it was worth it. I played World of Goo before when I only paid $8 for it, and this got me World of Goo 1. So I got World of Goo 1 and 2.
I
Unfortunately, I don't get to play it too often.
I uh I paid to have the ads removed from Zombie Tsunami just because I do play it quite a bit and the ads were getting
Really
quite
annoying.
annoying. Yeah. So, they came up with a sale and it was 99 cents and I said, "Yeah, I'll give you 99 cents to get rid of all your stupid ads." Sure, why not? But I still get the little pop-up every now and then that says buy this or buy that. And the thing with the way that game works, you can complete the entire game without buying anything. I love it because you don't need any of the premium stuff to complete it. You it it actually will end up once you get so far in the game, it starts giving you some of the premium stuff. And it's like, oh, okay. So it took a while. It took a couple of years, but I have maxed out. I've got everything that you could possibly buy. I never have to give them money. And it cost me 99 cents. So, you ready to see this robot that I worked on from Vicente's program for the screen?
Yeah.
You are using the joystick?
Yep. So I took off a bunch of the stuff that you had.
Yeah.
So oh, it would help if I actually showed the. So it's turning left right now. It's turning right now. It's backing up. It's going forward. And it will slow down if I just start slowing it down.
You printed a case for the screen?
Yep.
Nice.
I made it so it only sends the commands when you're pushing the screen.
Okay.
So when this isn't receiving anything, it sets a flag that says, don't run or stop.
Nice.
It's
Bluetooth or
working.
Wi-Fi?
ESP now.
But
ESP.
how's it communicating? Bluetooth or
ESP
Wi-Fi?
now.
No, it's Wi-Fi, but it's a protocol very, very fast, very simple.
Okay.
It uses the same channels of Wi-Fi, but you choose which channel to use, 0, 1, or whatever. And
Okay.
it sends short messages without confirmation if you want. It's
Just a
very
little.
fast.
And I'm only sending well in this case I'm only sending 3 characters over to it. So it's just there it is. And I got another one. I gotta load the program, which I made a change to this program, so we will see if it actually works. But I wanted to do something a little bit different than a joystick. Oh, I should have been ready for this. I wasn't ready. I made slider switches. And I'm loading the program right now.
How was Florida?
It would have been a lot better if we'd been able to stay there longer.
Okay. I came back yesterday from Tampa.
We were a little south of there.
Yeah.
Error opening. Oh, that's because it's on the wrong COM port. It would help if I chose the right COM port. I took your idea of making a joystick though and made some sliders with
Nice.
Cool.
a go button, and it's flashing
Yeah.
the thing, so you can set, there's a little checkbox right there. So
Uh-huh.
the sliders, if the checkbox is checked, the sliders will be in
Are
sync.
linked.
So if you want it to go forward, but if you want it to do left or right, you uncheck it, and then you can go.
You can engage or disengage but
So now one
the
of them's going faster and one of them's going slower. And if I,
yeah, yeah,
because I need
yeah.
to load the right program on the robot. Right now, the robot's just going
You're
forward.
having fun. Okay.
But then if I want it to go backwards, there's the reverse button. So I took your joystick idea and kind of ran with it. Kind of went,
Nice.
hmm. And I couldn't find a good way to make slider switches, so I hacked all this together myself. This is
Nice. Nice. Just
it's not,
rectangle and lines.
yeah, and it's not pretty. It's I'm like when you hit somewhere on the screen, I'm still seeing the X and Y spots. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I need to be over here to get the circle. So I'm reading the X and Y,
Exactly.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm doing, if it's greater than this or if it's less than that.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Nice.
pretty code, but it works. It's doing what it's
Okay.
supposed to do. So let me load up the robot, and let's see if this change that I made actually works. Because I made a change earlier today and didn't get a chance to try it because the robot, now uh with the other code, there's a small delay when it's sending, and the robot doesn't seem to care if that delay is there. But with the sliding thingy-mabob, it seems like it cares if there's a delay. So I took the delay out and didn't get a chance to test it. So let's see, what am I doing? So let's see if it fixes it or not. If this doesn't fix it, then it's still broken and I've got to work on it. Compiling, uploading. I want it to go fast. Yeah, still a little bit of a stop in there. That's a lot better though. Now I want it to make one wheel go faster than the other wheel. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's doing
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly that.
Yeah.
So that would be turning in one direction. Now it doesn't look like it's working in the other direction now. And reverse is reversing.
Cool.
So it looks like one direction's working. I can make it turn in one way. And then that's back to going straight. There's still like a little bit of a delay in
So
there.
you are driving the motors with 3.7 volts, right?
Yeah.
Is the battery, they work pretty nice with this voltage.
Wow, that's warm. Wow. I had it plugged in, I had it charged up. That's wow. That is warm. That's toasty. Maybe that battery's going bad on me.
Well,
Or
what
those
is
little
hot?
motors are drawing more current than you realize.
Maybe.
The battery? What is hot?
Yeah, the battery's kind of toasty. It's
Here.
it's cooled off. It's cooled off now, but
Maybe too
yeah,
much for the battery, the two
maybe,
motors.
maybe. I don't know. Remember a couple weeks ago, and it started acting weird and it wasn't taking a charge. I put that battery on my battery conditioner and it seemed like it was fine, but maybe there's
Mm.
something wrong with that battery. Maybe that battery is maybe that battery has finally bit the dust. I've had that I had it for a while. So but that was my experiment with playing around with the cheap yellow display. I played around I played around with this thing way more than I probably should have. This one is a lot easier to use than the resistive
Mm.
one. A lot easier to use. Everything should be this easy.
I was making a keypad in this display to change parameters in a program, I have this, I have it here, you see.
Uh-huh.
I made a keypad, you press anywhere and the keypad appears. But I
Oh,
don't know, you still see,
yeah.
you see?
Like a
And you
calculator.
can, yeah, you can press whatever you want and enter, and the parameter goes in your program. The idea is to configure anything using the keypad.
I like
I
it.
don't know.
Now you need a case.
I
I'll
need,
I'll
yeah,
I'll print a case
I,
for you.
I need more light, or I don't know. Okay, you see there.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can clear, or you can press anything and erase, go back, enter, and you are back in your program.
Why is it so bright? Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, I am using a light to compensate the illumination. Yeah, yeah. Batman.
Batman flipping around. I use I use this Batman logo on every one of my displays because,
Yeah, I see.
well, it's a good test one because if the display is inverted, the colors are wrong. And it, it so I've had a couple of displays where the colors are inverted, but the image is right, but the colors are wrong. And that confuses me.
Those yellow displays, each one is different drivers, different pinouts, different touchscreen drivers.
Yep. Yeah.
This one is a single touch, but you have several gestures.
I cannot get the gestures to work. I have not
You
been
ask
able
you ask for the last parameter of the function. It has a different number. Check the .h file.
Uh-huh.
There is they are enumerated the different functions with different numbers. So you have a 3 or 4, 6, you have a gesture up, gesture down, gesture left, right, double touch, long touch. You can have different numbers in the function to identify.
I've never seen anything other than 0 come out of it though.
Okay. I didn't try, but okay. This is Star Wars.
It's the stars.
Star Trek.
Like I said, I've been playing with this thing way too much. Way too much.
I like the idea that you have an ESP32, and some pins to do something.
The yeah, this particular board that you recommended getting is way nicer. You can't really see that's a Mandelbrot. You can't really see it.
Okay, yeah, nice.
And it draws it extremely fast for what it is.
So paste a link for that thing. I'm interested in one.
Okay. I will have to find
Amazon. I have it in my computer here.
Okay.
Is the ESP 2.8 inch, right?
Yep.
Is the capacitive touch. Okay. I bought 2 of those. I copied the link to.
I thought you bought more than that. I thought you've got 3 of these or 4 of these now.
Yeah, wow. I have 2. I returned one that was with the pen, the resistive. I just returned to Amazon. I didn't open it. I don't like to use the
resistive
style.
Yeah.
And you need to calibrate the position sometimes because they are shift.
Well, my biggest issue with the resistive one was it, instead of giving like the X and Y spot, it gives like from
Value.
0 to 4,000 or something.
Okay, it's like a resistor, like a
yeah.
divider. Yeah.
And then you have to do some math to figure out where it's actually at on the screen.
Okay.
And it's not like that's hard to do. It's just one extra step that I shouldn't have to do. But
the problem is that two screens doesn't have the same value in the same point, because you need to calibrate. Do you remember the Palm Pilot? They used to calibrate before using because it was resistive. But the capacitive one doesn't have the problem because they are fixed. The cells are fixed with the screen.
So I did actually take I looked at how this one's driver worked, the resistive driver, um, because its driver has a rotate function, so you can rotate the screen
Okay.
or rotate the touch.
Okay.
That this one's very simple driver that the library that it has doesn't have a rotate. So I looked to see how that was done and I figured out how to rotate. So if
Yeah.
in this is the standard orientation, but
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this orientation,
You
the
change
touches are
Y
going to be,
for yeah.
yeah, the touches are going to be in different spots. And some of them you have to subtract and some of them you have to add, but I figured all that out if you want the math for that. It's really, really simple math.
But
But
you can. I think you can rotate the touch. I think.
I I didn't see how to
Didn't
do it
I?
in with the library that you gave me.
Okay.
Maybe a different library might have. There is a different library. It does support multi-touch. Um, it supports two touches, two fingers,
Yeah. Mhm.
but I still haven't been able to figure out how to actually get it to tell me to show me a gesture. And even with the other library, it just says, "Yep, it's two touches." Okay, two touches doesn't help me. Yeah, I know I'm touching it twice. I don't care. I want slide up, slide down. But that LVGL library seems to actually support swipes and everything. Um, that one actually seems to work, but I find that library to be very, very complicated.
Yeah. The function is get touch, right?
Yeah, I played around with a bunch of different
Yeah. There's
libraries
only
and stuff.
two functions: begin and get touch. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it looks like they wanted to add more to it, but didn't. It, I mean, why enumerate having gestures if it's not there? I don't understand. I'm very confused.
Yeah. I didn't try, but
But
you
the other
try to
library,
print. Did you try to
the
print the gesture to print to check always zero?
yeah, always zero. And the other library, like I said, it said that it supported gestures. Um, but all it tells me is that I have two fingers on the screen. So that's going to be way too bright.
Yeah.
Um, I found a GUI library that's where I had to figure out how to rotate the screen because it wants the orientation in a different direction. And I was like, okay. But it also didn't have sliders. It had all the buttons and stuff, but not having
Well,
the
if
sliders.
you want to change the orientation, just change the y and y value, y and x value. You know, y is x and x is y, and you change
Um,
the
but depending upon if it's flipped upside down,
uh-huh.
then it needs to be subtracted.
Yeah, but you can use the value. I mean, three 320
Hmm.
minus y.
Right,
Flip flip the value.
right,
If you
right,
use the full scale minus the value, you flip.
right.
So you can
No,
do
you
anything with this
you
function.
you figured it out. You know how to do it. See,
Okay.
I never doubted Vicente. Vicente knows all.
Geometry. No, but it's easy to try that. You will find out.
Oh, where's the one? I've got a demo somewhere of the LV Dealy Bob. I don't know where it went. But the LV GL library does actually seem like it supports swiping and everything. But I don't know where that demo went. Now I am very, very sad because that worked. It was it was kind of weird too because it seemed like the colors were off using two different libraries to
Yeah,
control it. I fixed it, but the original demo made the colors
yeah.
really wacky. Yeah. And it
It's
wasn't
what I say. What
it
I say.
everyone's different,
Every
yeah.
every have different things, drivers,
Yep.
pinouts. The library sometimes. Well, I think that is the chip itself that, or how they wired it. They invert the RGB, use uh, GBI, RGB, G,
BRG and GRB or
flip the
yeah.
value.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing with this demo was it wasn't that the colors were wrong per se, they were desaturated to a point that almost everything looked white. It was very weird. It was a very weird palette, and
Okay.
I fixed it, but it using the same set of uh, display parameters without the other library, it worked just fine. Adding the second library seemed like it caused some weird conflict with it. Very weird, but I can't find that demo now, so it doesn't matter.
You have
Even
drivers that use SPI for both for the touch and the display.
yeah.
Use the same SPI lines. There are libraries that use I2C for the touch and SPI for the display controller. There are another screen that use 8 bits of data in the display controller,
Hmm.
and all of them using different pins of ESP32. So it's crazy. It's crazy trying to
Well,
understand what's
and
going
then
on.
you've got an IL9 something display and an ST
Yeah, exactly. The
7739
different
or
drivers.
whatever.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Different drivers, different boards. They should all be the same. Make my
Yeah.
life easier. And anyway, I have spent hours playing with this board. I will I'll print you a actually I've got another case. I'll bring you a case so that you could have a case.
Okay.
Oh,
Great.
you just need to find I think those are M3 screws or
Screws.
yeah.
I
You
have. I
probably
have.
you
Maybe
probably
not the
have
same,
more
but no. But I
screws
don't. I
than you
don't have
need.
those dumb screws that is are better. But it's okay. Doesn't matter. I'll find out.
No, I like this board. This is a nice board for $20.
it's still $20. And if you buy it in AliExpress, it costs also 20 something because the shipping is like $3 and the cost is 17. So you have the same price. I don't know the tariffs, how will affect it. But
I do like how Amazon says that this is a frequently returned item.
yeah, because people don't know how to use it. It's
Oh,
it's
what
too
did I
complicated.
buy? What did I
Yeah,
buy?
yeah.
But the there's a little resistor, photo resistor up here too.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't work real well. It works.
I
It's
didn't
just
try it.
not
You,
great.
you see the red LED on. That's why the ESP32, when turn on, it put a pull down resistor in this pin, in pin 4, I think.
Pin
Is
4.
how it start up always. So you see always the red dot on.
So to turn that off, you use
You need to remove the pull down in the pin. You can put the digital mode. How is the
pin mode.
command?
Pin mode.
Excuse me. Pin
Pin,
mode. Pin
pin
mode.
mode. Yeah.
Input. That's it. Instead of input pull down, that is how it boot up.
So digital write high will turn that off.
Also, yeah,
Yep.
also.
Yep. And all the LEDs must have.
But you try to turn on any of the colors, it's too bright to. It's too
Yeah.
bright. It's annoying.
But
Too much
all
light.
all the LEDs must have a resistor on them because they're all high turns them off and low turns them on.
They have a plus 3.3 volts common. You have the schematic. I have the schematic.
Yeah, I probably have it. I didn't look at it, but
Yeah,
but all of them high turns them off and low turns them on. So
exactly. Yeah.
it's exactly opposite of what you would think,
Yeah.
which seems to be semi-common among some of the cheaper boards.
I can share my screen.
Oh no, you probably can't. Hang on. I'll fix it. It was just me and Steve, and Steve could share a screen because he's a meeting processor.
Okay.
He's one of those. You can share your screen now, or you should be able to
Yeah.
share your screen.
Yeah. I'm looking for the schematic. Here, share. Let's see. Here, this is the
Oh,
RGB
yeah.
LED. Yeah. See.
So that makes sense. Yep. They're
But I
all
think this is not the right schematic for this board because one of the pins is the number 4,
yeah.
and we have here 17, 22, and 16.
So
Strange.
16 and 17 work.
The other one
22,
is
that's not right. 22 is
I
not
think
right.
I think it's 4, number 4.
Yep, that I've got that list.
See, LED 1.2, your 4. See,
So that's on, yeah.
is it 16, 17, and
16 and
4.
17 are right.
Yeah. And this is the
Well, that's what you know they don't provide great documentation and stuff, right? You got to
I did a
figure
lot
this
of
stuff out.
I made this thing using Excel, you know. No, the documentation is very strange. It's hard to find. I have a I have a .zip folder that I think is the documentation,
Yeah,
but you need to check.
if you email the seller, they'll send you whatever you
Yeah,
yeah.
supposedly, yeah.
And it's actually the stuff they send you is you could find it online if you just type the model number in. So
Yeah.
it
But
it's
the same model have different pinouts. You know, there are several boards with the same model number
yeah.
with different pinouts. So it's crazy.
Well, that's probably how you ended up with 22 being on one of the boards probably has pin 22 connected to. I want to hmm. I know this resistive board that I've got is quite a bit different. I wonder if it's connected to pin 22. It it's almost the same model number. It's not. It's not even close, but it's almost the same model number. I haven't played with the SD card yet with this, but that should work. There shouldn't be a problem with the SD card. Shouldn't be.
I started with the 3.2 inches model and changed to this one to the 2.8. Mm,
I've got one. It doesn't have touch on it. It's a nice board, and it's not in this. Yeah, it is. It's got, I think, this interface right here is an interface for touch, but it doesn't have the touch thing on it. And it's 1.7, 1.3, 1.7, 1.9. God, be able to read what the model number is trying to tell me. It's 1.9. It's a 1.9 inch screen. It's a pretty nice board. If you want something even smaller, I think I
yeah.
paid as much for this as I did for the bigger board though. So,
Okay. This is a capacitive also.
well, it doesn't it's got the I think that's the interface for it, but it doesn't have the uh
Touch.
it doesn't have the touch board installed on it.
Yeah, I see.
And from everything that every time I look at these, I don't see any of them that have the touch board on them. They all seem like
Just a
that,
display.
just a display, yeah. And honestly, for the price, these are better. The big ones are better because I think these were $17 a
Yeah.
piece, and just
The
get the
same
big
price,
one.
the 20.
Yeah, just get the big one for 20. Um, I've got this really old TT Go board, but I don't think it's got touch on it.
I
I think,
have this, but it's not touch. If you go,
yeah, yeah, I've got one of those. This is another one. They made two different models of it. This is tiny. They
yeah,
made two different
this is
models of
the
it.
with the round corners. Yeah, I remember
Yes,
that.
but they made two different models of this. One of them has touch, one of them doesn't. And then they came out with a third model with no touch that has the USB port
Yeah,
stuck
so
on it.
you have them all.
I I'm crazy, you know that.
Yeah. I bought one 2.2 inches. I'm looking for it. Let me check. But this is the one that use 8 bits in the driver. It's a parallel port, so I didn't make it works yet.
These round displays,
The RAM.
I've got four of them that have touch, five of them that have touch, and two of them that don't have touch.
Nice to make a dial move something rounding around 2.8, 2.3.2.
Then Lily Go Lily Go Go suckered me into buying that. Saw it, said, "Oh, that's a great price." Then realized it's an S2. It's not a it's not an S3. They suckered me into it with a cheap price.
S2, yeah, you need to check everything when you buy something, yeah.
Suckered me in with a cheap price. Dang it.
I don't see my purchase. 2.8, 2.2 here in the second one. I bought this one, let me share.
Yep.
This is 2.2 inches. You see?
Looks
And
almost the same.
well, this is
A little
small,
bit
this is smaller.
little bit
Look,
smaller, yeah.
yeah, look in the back. See?
Yep.
But you have looks like the same touch screen,
Yep.
but the display is parallel something 8 bits. It's more complicated to connect. I find out the way, but I didn't try it.
It also only has the speaker port, not a battery connector. Oh, the battery connector's in a different spot.
Here the battery.
Oh,
And you
wow.
have the switch to turn on and off the switch.
Okay.
And you have the reset and boot here. The speaker.
The speaker, yeah.
Yeah, it has everything, but it's small,
But
2.2
it
inches.
doesn't have any of the IO on it though. It's only got one
Well,
IO port.
I think you have I/O here. I didn't check, but
But your larger screen has uh three IO, four IO ports on it.
yeah, I think so. For
4. Yeah.
But they are shared with, I don't know, with the SD card, TF card, or I don't know if you can use them
Oh,
without
right.
problems. They have here 4, but I don't know. I can see anything
That's
here.
well, if it's like the other boards, that's a serial port,
Okay.
but it's an ESP32, so it could be anything. You can make it anything.
Yeah, you can make, and this is 2.2. This is the one that we are talking about. This speaker, battery, and you have several connectors here.
Yeah.
And some of these IOs are shared with the TF card, I think.
That makes sense.
Screws. 17.4 IO4 is the same that the LED. I think these 3 resistors are for the RGB LED in the other side. You see
Oh,
here,
yeah.
the resistors of this one is in the back here,
Okay.
and one of the line is 17, the other one
Yeah.
is 16, and the other one is 4. So you have 3 pins shared with the RGB LED here.
Mm,
You see,
yep.
and you have
That's probably why they,
20,
yeah.
21, 22 ground and 3.3 volts. But I don't know if these pins are shared with something. You need to check in the schematic somewhere. They don't have the schematic here, right? No. Now, the problem is that you need to search for everywhere for documentation.
Well, that's the big problem with all these cheap boards is documentation.
Yeah. Sometimes you think that you found the right one and it's not the same board, different pins. It's really pain. I like one.
Well, and then you've got,
I like this
companies.
one. You see this?
What is
This
this?
has a plastic vessel around the screen. It's capacitive.
WaveShare.
Yeah,
WaveShare's got a lot of stuff too.
yeah, a lot of screens. But this is really small.
You got companies making boards like this with sticking their own label on there, and then it's almost the same as a native fruit board, but just slightly different.
This is really small. Look the size of the connector. You can attach a camera on it.
I saw one of those boards on eBay for $14 and I missed it. I should have
Yeah.
bought it and I didn't. And then I went back to
Wow,
buy it and it was gone.
yeah.
Patty says I
This
shouldn't
is
wait.
this is
Just
a
buy
wave
stuff.
share also. This is a big, and the resolution is also double,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
or more than double.
M5, they've got a big board now that's kind of like that, about the same price too.
uh, can
You were
CAN bus.
talking about mounting one in a uh light socket, Steve.
Yeah,
I think WaveShare actually makes one that was
it's
designed to go
designed
in
for
a
that.
yeah. I think it's if I remember right, I think it's got the screw-in pins. You just tap it right into the mains, and it's got an onboard regulator to bring it right to the right power.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. I think
Plenty
it's
of options.
I think it's actually made to do that. That's what it was designed to do.
This is not too expensive.
Well,
30
that's
bucks.
$30.
Uh,
Is that coming from
this
Amazon?
is
Yeah,
this is yeah. And what else? What's the size of this screen?
480. 480 by 640, so
Yeah,
it's a
no,
little bit
this is the
smaller.
pixels. I mean the size in inches or diagonal or whatever.
Oh well.
Um, Point 2.8. No, I don't think so.
By,
Yes,
by
it's very small. It's really small. Look at the size of the board.
yeah.
A pin out here connector. Touch screen. This is the touch screen connector. And
In the
I
display.
think it's a huge difference when you use a display driver with the 8 bit with 8 bits parallel. I think they are very, very fast compared with the I2S
I've got Well, I've
IPS
got a
IPS
lot.
yeah, IPS.
Yes, the IPSs seem like they're slow-ish.
Mm.
I've got a lot of boards, and the Adafruit graphics library seems to be the slowest on almost all of them.
Yeah, because they made a very compatible thing and
Yeah,
it's slow.
it's really slow.
Yeah.
That U whatever it is, TFT USPI, that seems to be one of the faster ones. But and once you get used to it, it's not that complicated to use. So, but the one that I don't really like is that LVGL. That thing just seems like it's overly complicated for what it is. I think it's does way too much stuff, and it doesn't simplify enough stuff to make it easy to use. But I don't know. I'm just here. So, oh,
I like the idea of use these screens for interface, a simple touch or whatever. Just what are you doing with the joystick? It's it's a nice application to just change
well,
some stuff quickly and easy.
really up until you said, do you turn it into a joystick? I really had no idea what to do with the touch screens. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, they're cool. It's neat, but I really didn't know what to do with them. It seemed
There is a new ESP32, the P4, 400 megahertz. You
It's
can do large language models or whatever, machine learning.
Isn't that the one that's runs Linux?
I think so.
Yeah.
ESP32, P4. WaveShare has one model in Amazon.
It's a RISC.
Can share.
Yep.
Yes, RISC.
It's a RISC processor featuring AI instructions.
It's this one.
Okay, that's a cute little thing.
Yes, it's tiny, no? And you have
The P4 Nano.
ESP and then Nano.
Maybe that's not, I don't, that must not be the one that runs.
High integrated power performance, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth, whatever. Power over Ethernet support. What else? Small. Display interface, camera interface. Real-time clock.
That's what the new the new one from M5 uses as a P4.
Yeah, but they are creating a stamp one, right? A stamp size.
It's called Tab 5 and it's got a 5-inch display on it. It's like a small tablet.
Receive. No, M5 stack. They are working in this one.
Oh,
this is the stamp P4,
stamp.
you see?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are making a very tiny thing, very powerful. They posted it yesterday.
What goes in that little connector in the corner? Is that one of
This
those
one,
eMMC drives?
maybe camera, maybe display, I don't know. There's one, here's another one. But they don't specify
That's a
anything
mating
about
pair.
it. It's just a preview of what they are working on. Power supply here, something like that.
Yeah, M5. Some of the stuff that they're working on never actually ever comes out.
Yeah,
they just post.
That's true. Yeah, they just post everything.
They post a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Moto LoRa is like a walkie-talkie using LoRa.
Yeah. See, I want that to come out, but that may never ever come out.
Okay. They are showing.
Yeah, I've got one of
they are
those.
working on.
I don't have the M12 version of that. I've got that one right there. The Tab 5 is out right now. It's a 5-inch tablet style.
This is already released.
Yeah, $55 without a battery, $60 with a battery, and it takes a big chunk and like an old style camcorder battery, like a big chunking thing. Yeah, like that.
This is the battery.
That's the battery, right?
Okay.
Big chunking.
Yeah, it's strange. Oh my God.
I have no idea why you would want to attach that thing to your wrist,
Yeah, no
but
me. Okay. And this is someone using it or what? Uh,
the guts of it, the inside.
this is the battery.
See, a lot of what they post is still prototypes, so what they've actually come out with may be a little bit different than that. But
Okay, okay. Well, it's
since
nice
it
to see.
since it says Tab 5 on it, I would guess that's pretty close to the final version. But it's after 7, guys. So,
Well, okay. Was fun.
oh, I want that too, the micro mouse. That looks awesome.
Oh, what? This?
Yeah, little tiny robot.
But this is in the market yet? No. They are working on
Look
it.
at the other look. Oh, it's using those little tiny stepper
It's a
motor.
stepper motor. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I could
Interesting.
I can make that. I could do that.
With you to the printer.
All right.
This is the core. This is the core, or is another
It
one.
says Core 2 on it, so it's one of the newer models.
Yes, core two. Yes,
Yeah. So it's one of the
nice.
newer models.
So
Stepper
where's
See,
the
motor.
battery at for that?
that's going to be one.
Maybe in these pockets, this pocket here. I don't know.
Where's the drivers at for the steppers? So
No idea.
that
It's a
thing
prototype,
looks
like you said. Yeah,
that thing looks very much like a prototype.
yeah.
So, and a lot of
What
their
is this?
prototypes, you could tell that they're prototypes because they 3D print the cases with an SLA printer.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
finals come out with, ABS plastic or whatever,
yeah, yeah.
but the prototypes usually have like SLA cases. And usually you don't get a case until they get close to something else. So,
This is the white paper.
yeah,
You have this one? No.
I do.
Just yours in
Vicente,
Chinese?
Vicente.
What? Chinese? Yeah, but
I'm
I
Batman.
don't know.
I'm Batman.
What?
I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
Okay. Next week we make a review. Yeah.
And I have the
What about
original. That's
what
the
about
original.
battery life?
Um, so this one, the battery is starting to degrade in it. I'm having to charge it a bit more, but it's lasting 3 or 4 months. This one, I haven't used it enough to know if, but this one's the new one, so the battery should be pretty good in it. And it's my always on display of Batman.
Yeah.
Because I can't find anything else to do with it. So I know Patty's wanting food because I can hear her out there going food.
Nice. Let's
So
have dinner.
um we're going to be virtual again next week, and
Okay.
we'll figure more stuff out. I'll see you guys later.
Bye bye.
Good
Bye.
night.